This regular meeting of the Waco Independent School Board is hereby called to order. All items which may be discussed or voted upon this evening have been posted as required by state law. I extend a warm welcome to those present and to our television viewers. The board's purpose is to set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budget, contracts, and personal appointments, and make policy for the district. We are not here to make management decisions or solve problems of individuals. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent and her staff. I ask that you turn your cell phones to silent alert if you have not already done so. We appreciate the time you have taken to join us for your interest in the Waco Independent School District. As part of our board operating procedures, the Waco ISD School Board follows 10 guiding commitments that help our focus on students and community. To begin tonight's meeting, Secretary Patton and Trustee Bledsoe will be reading a guiding comment. Secretary Patton, will you start us off?
Certainly. Thank you, President Vidania. Our guiding commitments, unified voice. The board speaks with one voice after decisions are made, regardless of individual positions during deliberation.
And student-centered decision-making. Decisions will be guided by what best serves students' learning, well-being, and future success.
Thank you, Mr. Bledsoe. Mr. Patton, do we have anyone signed up for public comment? The whole thing? Any person wishing to address the Board of Trustees during this period reserved for public comment at the board meeting must sign up to be heard. Public comment at all board meetings will be conducted in accordance with Board Policy BED Local. Public comments are limited to open meeting agenda items. Individuals who wish to participate during the portion of the meeting designated for public comment shall sign up by completing and submitting this form before meeting begins. Each speaker comment shall not exceed 3 minutes per meeting when necessary to accommodate a larger number of individuals wishing to address the board. An overall time limit for public comment may be established, and the time allotment to each speaker may be adjusted accordingly. The board may not discuss any issues or act upon any issues that are posted on the agenda for tonight's meeting. If an issue mentioned is listed on tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion of the issue until appropriate time during the meeting. Rules of order and decorum will be enforced during the public comment period to ensure efficient meetings. Unlawful or disruptive conduct, including interrupting scheduled speakers, speaking out of turn, or interfering with the rights of others, will not be tolerated. Each participant is legally responsible for the content and consequences of his or her own statements. Mr. Will Phipps.
Good evening, school board. I'm Will Phipps, live at 1105 Wessex, and I'm the proud brother of Everett Phipps. I just want to use my 3 minutes to just tell you all a little bit about him. I have the honor of knowing him longer than anyone in this room. Believe it or not, since he was born, we have been close friends, and we were roommates in college, and I just want to take my time to say I'm really proud of him for stepping out and volunteering for this position. To give you a little bit of background about Everett, he's a man of honor, a man of integrity, and a man of character. We were born and raised in Lubbock, Texas, but we spent a lot of time in our youth growing up in Waco because we were Baylor fans and Baylor people, so we spent a lot of our time coming to Waco to visit. And we ended up being roommates in college at Baylor together. And I graduated and left, and Everett graduated and stayed, and he always would call me and tell me how great this place was. I moved to Atlanta, and I said, no, the big city, this is where it's at. He said, no, Waco's where it's at. And I moved to a very small town in rural Indiana. I said, hey, I figured it out. This is where it's at, small rural town. He said, no, Waco's where it's at. And when I came back and visited him and I saw what was going on in the city, I was amazed. And I said, you know what? I got to give you credit. For the first time, you're right. This place is amazing. And he convinced me to move back to Waco, and he is that passionate about this town and this school district. He has 2 kids here that are going to go through Waco ISD, and I love him. I'm super proud of him. I'm an advocate for him. He loves the kids of this school district. He will be here for all kids. The Waco ISD School Board mission is to advocate for those kids and to give every student a fair chance at a great experience. And I believe that he will put his time and effort behind that wholeheartedly. He will be available to the citizens of this school district, and he's going to be amazing. And I'm just here to say, my dad was on the school board, and now he's going to be on the school board, hopefully coming up soon. And I'm just really proud of him, and I don't need to waste any more time, but thank you guys for giving him this opportunity. And Everett, love you, man. Proud of you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Joe Nesbitt. Good, good.
Dr. Spicer, esteemed trustees, thank you for, I think this is the first time I've been here. I'm a lifelong Wacoan, resident of Waco, graduated from Waco High in 1993, did the Mountain View, Carver, Lake Air, ninth grade center trek that many of my friends did as well. I read in the paper about what's going on here with the appointment of Everett Phipps, and I think it represents the beauty of our country. I think I read an article, and the article said that there was a stalemate. I may be using the wrong language. It's a very difficult decision. And I thought, man, that's pretty impressive that people held out and held true to their beliefs. And not everyone agrees. There was no rubber stamp. You get back together, you get in the room, and Everett Phipps is what emerged. And then I read the paper, and I'm not really on social media, but some comments were shared. And, you know, I love the fact that that Waco feels so passionate about the leadership in our school district that we're willing to argue about it. I think that's a beautiful part of our society. There is a system in place. We don't always have to agree with the way that the ball rolls out and the coin turns. We don't have to agree with it, but we're going to move forward. What is wonderful is 3 people came forward who were willing to and wanted to serve this district. And so I'm here to just say thank you for disagreeing, probably arguing. I wasn't in the room, but I know some of the people sitting up here, and that's why you're there, because you're passionate about the way you feel about this district. I'm thankful for the work you do. It's not easy. Nobody signs up for this role with some political aspirations of grandeur. You do it because your heart and you love children. And so I say thank you. With my remaining 38 seconds, I looked at the agenda. I see that there's Texas Science and Engineering Fair, Future Educator State Competition, Texas State Solo. I think that means there are a bunch of students who are going to be given awards and recognized for some really cool accomplishments. And I would just say congratulations. And when you hear people say you're the future, that is true, man. That is so true. And proud of all y'all, and I hope you have a great summer because school's almost out. I'm out. Thank you.
Stephanie Cordaweg.
It's fun being on this side. I also really tried hard to whittle it down to 3 minutes, so I hope I make it. I'm already started. Good evening, Waco Board of Trustees and Superintendent Spicer. As someone who once sat in those seats, I want you to know I come tonight with compassion, gratitude, and absolutely no desire to trade places with you. Having once served on this board, I know 2 things to be true. One, no one fully understands this job from the outside. and everyone still thinks they can do it better from Facebook. I want to thank Mr. Bledsoe and Mr. Abanusi for their service, and for Mr. Phipps for stepping forward to serve on the Waco ISD board. Mr. Phipps, when I read your resume and I expected you to be up here, sorry. When I read your resume and looked at your years of service in this community, I saw what this board saw, someone with both the vision and the skill set needed to help lead Waco ISD during an unprecedented time. TEA is breathing down our necks, and public education, especially Waco ISD, is under enormous pressure, as evidenced by the handing of 2 of our elementary schools to a charter system. Because I have sat in the seats you now occupy, I recognize that the decision you made was not only courageous, but demonstrated tremendous integrity, not the lack of it. Serving in this role is far more demanding than anyone who has not sat in the seats will ever fully understand, and yet it remains one of the most important responsibilities in our community. I also think it's important to note that this board has been an all-male board for the past year, while 3 positions recently went uncontested. With TEA's sight set on Waco ISD, it's imperative that you square your shoulders, fix your vision on what must be done, and do whatever it takes to steer this ship in the right direction on behalf of our students. Don't listen to the noise. Sometimes that noise looks like gaslighting, denying your experiences and disregarding your intentions even after you have clearly stated them. Sometimes it looks like virtue signaling, masking bullying tactics. In the end, they are simply often tools used to oppress voices and intimidate people into silence. Please do not listen to these ad hominem attacks or hasty generalizations. They are in themselves logical fallacies. Square your shoulders and set your face as flint to the future. Years ago, I was told not to listen to the loudest voices, but to seek out the people who were impacted by our decisions. I found them. And they wanted 3 things: people to love their children, educate them, and provide opportunities that previous generations did not have. Tallarico recently said, "We live in an era of corruption, the rotting of something from the inside. For-profit social media algorithms sowing division in our communities and turning neighbor against neighbor. That's social corruption. The ties that bind us together are unraveling." And then he asked the question, how would our world be different if we truly saw human beings as expressions of a divine source? I believe that question is worthy of asking as we move forward together as a community. Because at the end of the day, the work before the school board is not political, administrative, it's human work. It's the work of shaping lives, stewarding opportunities, and protecting the future of children. Thank you again so much for your willingness to serve this district and this community.
Thank y'all. We're moving on to a moment of silence. Please bow your heads and take a moment with me. Thank y'all. Next, we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Leading our Pledge of Allegiance this evening are Mountain View Elementary students Iris Horton and Emilio Alvarado.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Spicer and Board of Trustees, would you please join me at the front? Thank you, Iris and Emilio. Okay, we are thrilled to have Iris and Emilio join us today. I'd like to take a moment to recognize them. First up, Iris is a fourth grader with a passion for reading. Outside of school, Iris enjoys dancing at All That Jazz Academy, spending time with her friends and sister, and traveling with her family. Her teacher describes her as kind-hearted and an excellent leader at her school. Iris is not only a Mountain View junior librarian, but also a morning announcements anchor, and she participated in the UIL this year. When she grows up, Iris dreams of becoming an engineer. Thank you, Iris. Next, we have Emilio Alvarado, another enthusiastic fourth grade student who loves science. When he's not at school, Emilio enjoys practicing baseball and attending church. He also likes riding his bike, reading, and playing video games. His teacher notes that he has a kind and caring heart and is a wonderful friend to others. Emilio works hard in school and is a proud member of the Mountain View Junior Librarian Club also. He hopes to become either a Major League Baseball player or a police officer one day. We appreciate these remarkable students and their families. Special thanks to Kimbry and Joshua Horton, as well as Marissa and Angel Alvarado for being here to support their incredible children. We also want to thank Carrie Detlefson, I think she's behind this, principal of Mountain View, to support her students. Thank you. Do the families want a picture before we move on? Thank you. Okay. I'm so excited. This is May, it's the end of school, and we have so many students to recognize and celebrate tonight. So we were going to start with the Texas Science and Engineering Fair. We're delighted to recognize and celebrate the achievements of our remarkable Tennyson Middle School Atlas students who recently participated in the 2026 Texas Science and Engineering Fair, which was held on March 27th and 28th. So I'm going to go through and name everybody, and I believe this is Genesis Guillory. Okay. So I also want to congratulate Vera O'Brien and Allison Perez. They took home first place in junior division for their project in engineering technology. And then Sophie Arthur and Genesis Guillory, right here, as well as Rachel Maxiel, secured the second place in junior division for their innovative research in materials science. Their collaborative approach and analytical skills showcase the great potential of our young scientists. And then I also want to mention Emily Solano and Elizabeth Fox, who earned a third place in the junior division for their work in behavioral sciences. I don't want to forget to mention that this would not have been possible without the guidance and support of our dedicated staff. So I would like to thank Leslie Segura, our Atlas research teacher, and Leslie Cannon, our Tennyson librarian, for their hard work in teaching and preparing these students for the regional competition. Next up, Waco ISD is proud to recognize our future educators who participated in the Texas Association of Future Educators state competition on February 26th. So there was a total of 34 students from the Future Educators Academy that traveled to Dallas to participate in the competition at the Teach Tomorrow Summit. They showcased their talents across 19 different categories, highlighting their exceptional skills, creativity, and potential as future educators. By the end of the summit, our students achieved remarkable success. Impressively, 8 students in 4 categories have qualified to advance to the National Educators Rising competition. Additionally, 3 students earned gold, 9 silver, and 21 bronze awards. And you can see all of them up here on the screen. I know everybody wasn't able to make it, and so I'm going to list off the students who were able to make it, but I want to also recognize these students as well. So for qualifying for nationals, inside our schools category is Ana Enriquez. Did I say that right? Annalise Galan and Alejandra Betancourt Rodriguez. In the public speaking category, Kendall Lampkin and Monica McNeil. In researching learning challenges category, Diego Martinez, and then Kendall Lampkin also. Then the following student received a silver award for Inside Our Schools, Karime Reyes. Congratulations. The photos will be available on our Flickr albums probably tomorrow morning. Yeah, okay. Of course. Okay, next up, and this is near and dear to my heart too, because I'm a band mom, but we have the Texas State Solo and Ensemble State Qualifiers. We're going to start with Waco High. So Waco High School is proud to announce that 68 members of its Lion Pride Band participated in the UIL Solo and Ensemble contest held in Temple this year. The students achieved an impressive total of 45 medals, including 1 superior rating. In addition, 17 students have qualified for the state solo and ensemble contest held this month. Okay, again, we have so many students, and with band and all of the different activities, some were not able to make it. So I'm gonna do my best to get everybody who is here. So the TMAA Region Honor Mariachi is Christian Aguilar. Okay. For Region Honor Band and UIL State Solo and Ensemble is Israel Vaughn. For Region Honor Band, Neri Vega. Also for Region Honor Band, Juan Piedra. For Region Honor Jazz, Region Honor Band, and UIL State Solo and Ensemble qualifier, Sai Tandy. And Region Honor Jazz, Ezekiel Arroyo. The following students qualified for UIL State and Solo Ensemble: Luke Hammerly, Montreal Robinson, Lily Rose, Michael Menchaca, Karime Reyes. All right, please join me in congratulating all of these students for their hard work and dedication. We also want to thank Band Director Tyler Sage for being here to support his students. Okay, please join us with the board and we'll get a picture of everybody together. Really quick, before we get started with university, I wanted to shout out Kathleen Knight. I made an oversight, and I want to make sure that she knows that we appreciate her and everything that she does with the Future Educators Academy. Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, we're excited to celebrate University High School's Trojan Band also. So the following students qualified for Texas State Solo and Ensemble competition. And these, we have, again, a long list of amazing artists. So today we have for Region Concert Band and UIL State Solo and Ensemble, Gabriel Ramirez Jr. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Is it? Oops. Okay. For UIL State and Solo Ensemble, Roderick Watson III. Okay. For UIL State and Solo Ensemble also, Soshi Gardea. Diego Martinez. And we also have Diego Martinez. Okay, as they line up to get a photo together, please join me in congratulating these wonderful students for all their hard work and dedication. I also want to thank their head band director, Archie Hatton, for all of his work. Hey, also with University High School, we are excited to congratulate the speech team for their outstanding performance at the UIL Academic Region Contest. This marks the 4th consecutive year that a student from University High School will represent the institution at the state competition. Damari West achieved 2nd place in the prose category, securing qualification for state competition. And Rochelle Villa earned 4th place in the poetry category, becoming the state alternate. Thank you also to Savannah Jones, their UIL academic sponsor and teacher, who's here to support her students. Congratulations, guys. Next up, we have our Community Partner Award this month. Waco ISD is excited to honor Gigi's Flower Hut as our community partner for May. Their long-standing commitment to our district has made a significant impact, and we feel incredibly fortunate to have such a generous and dedicated partner in their foundation. Over the years, Gigi's has supported Waco ISD in numerous ways, including sponsoring a prom dress and suit giveaway for the past 3 years, providing homecoming mums and boutonnieres sponsorships, corsages and boutonnieres, and beautiful floral arrangements for our prom attendees. Gigi's also offers floral classes for students of all ages, including members of the 4-H club and those interested in STEAM projects. Our students have gained valuable work experience through opportunities at the flower shop and have the opportunity to earn their community service hours by participating in various projects as well. We are deeply grateful for the lasting impact that Gigi's Flower Hut has made on the Waco ISD community. Thank you for your unwavering support. That's all for our recognitions. Thank you.
Thank y'all. We'll be moving on to item 5, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Trustees. Next week is graduation. We're looking forward to a milestone moment as we celebrate the incredible class of 2026. University High School ceremony will lead the way at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 21st, followed by Waco High's graduation on Friday, May 22nd, also at 7:30 p.m. Both ceremonies will be held at the Waco ISD Stadium. Yes, we are watching the weather to ensure a safe and celebratory environment for all of our families. We will be enforcing a clear bag policy, so please note that. We ask that all attendees plan for extra time to walk through our security protocols, including metal detectors, before you enter. Board members, we request that you arrive 1 hour at least prior to the start of each ceremony, and that's 6:30 p.m. Dinner will be provided as we prepare to celebrate our graduates and their success. Congratulations, graduates. Summer school and other programs. Summer 2026 is just around the corner, and at Waco ISD, we are ready to keep the momentum going with a season full of learning and discovery. Our summer school adventures officially launched June 1st through June 18th. We've designated 4 high-energy elementary hubs at Kendrick, Lake Air, Provident Heights, and J.H. Hines, while our secondary students will be doing their thing at Tennyson Middle School and Waco High School. The excitement continues with our specialized deep dives through late July, including Camp Read a Lot, Language Acquisition, MILA, and ESY, which is Extended School Year program. We're also thrilled to offer the Math Venture Challenge, where students can tackle math daily using manipulatives sent home and track their own progress on a personal log. Plus, we will have Camp Invention, which returns to engage our DT learners, and for the first time ever, Waco is hosting a junior clinician camp to introduce 4th through 6th graders to the incredible world of health sciences. We're even taking the learning directly into our neighborhoods with Camp Storytime. We'll be out in the community at Estella Maxey, Kate Ross, Barron's Branch, Kendrick Park, and Parkside. It's the perfect summer outing where students can hear a great story, complete a comprehension activity, enjoy a refreshing popsicle, and take home free books to keep their home libraries growing. By teaming up with partners like the YMCA and Mentoring Alliance, we're ensuring every Waco ISD family has options for a meaningful and active summer. From math challenges and healthcare lessons to stories in the park, we're making sure our students continue to grow and learn all summer long. Get ready, summer 2026 is going to be a bright one, and we cannot wait to greet our students there. Next, we'll have our foundation grants. The Waco Education Foundation Surprise Patrol recently completed a whirlwind 2-day tour that demonstrated the growing strength of our community's investment in education. Building on this momentum of previous years, this year's grant cycle surpassed last year's totals, reaching a new level of support for our classrooms. By the end of the fun-filled 2 days, the foundation had visited 15 campuses, awarded 45 individual teacher grants for more than 70 applications, and distributed a total of $155,000 in direct funding. This noteworthy increase in year-over-year giving brings the total amount awarded by the foundation over the last 15 years to $2.6 million. That's something to celebrate. Anybody? These figures are a direct result of the dedicated work of the Foundation's board and our community partners coordinator, Stephanie Hines. More importantly, they represent a collective promise from the Waco ISD community to our educators, that if they have a vision for innovative learning experience, we will find a way to fund it. We are grateful for the continued partnership of organizations like yours that understand the value of investing directly in the hands of our teachers. Thank you all. And lastly, I want to talk about our teacher incentive allotment. Coming off a wonderful Teacher Appreciation Week, I'm honored to share a more tangible way we are recognizing the excellence in our classrooms through TIA, which is Teacher Incentive Allotment. For the 2025-2026 school year, 90 educators earned new or higher designations, 47 for the first time, and 43 who pushed themselves to a higher level. Our human resource team celebrated these amazing achievements with surprise check presentations in classrooms across the district earlier this month. These 2025-2026 designations bring our district to a total of 337 TIA designated teachers, a number that has grown every single year for a total of $4.2 million in compensation to these high-achieving teachers. Breaking these impressive numbers down, the average payout was about $16,000. The highest individual payout reached $30,552. Most notably, we now have 3 master-level teachers achieving 6-figure salaries while staying in the classroom. In the last 5 years, 24 teachers have reached that prestigious master's level. This data proves that TIA is doing exactly what it was intended. It's rewarding our best and ensuring our most effective teachers stay right where they have the greatest impact with our students in the classroom. Congratulations to these incredible educators for continuing to set the standard of excellence here in Waco ISD. Thank you.
We'll move on to item 6, information items and reports. Trustee Bledsoe, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Trustee Abnusi, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Trustee Davis, do you have any questions? No. Trustee Patton, do you have any questions?
No.
Trustee Ochoa, do you have any questions?
No.
We'll now move on to item 7, the consent agenda. Mr. Bledsoe, is there anything you'd like pulled?
No.
Mr. Abnusi, is there anything you'd like pulled?
No, sir.
Mr. Davis, is there anything you'd like pulled?
No.
Mr. Patton, is there anything you'd like pulled?
No, sir.
Mr. Ochoa, is there anything you'd like pulled?
No.
At this time, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
I move.
Thank you, Mr. Patton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Bledsoe. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That then passes. Thank you. We're moving on to item 9, review and discuss and take appropriate action on the contract for the virtual school presented by Dr. King Knowles.
Okay. Good evening, President Vidania, Dr. Spicer, members of the Board of Trustees. I think it was maybe the last board meeting that I was here to speak with you all, seek your approval on further exploration of the option of virtual school for Waco ISD through any of the viable resources, and we have found our resource that we want to propose with you all this evening, and that is Texas Connections Academy. This allows for a continued evolution of Waco ISD's School of Choice portfolio. Some of this might be a bit of a review, but just to catch everybody up, I don't know that I mentioned the top piece here last time. Virtual learning has grown 1,200% in Texas over the last decade. And I think that this is a very important point to take note, especially when we look at some of the expanded choices that are available to families in today's world. One of the things about virtual school is it meets the needs of a more diverse range of learners. One thing we learned when we went through COVID is that there are some students that really thrived through the online learning experience. In the 89th legislative session, Senate Bill 569 now allows expansion of school choice options, which helps us serve a greater population of students within our community. And while doing this, it can address multiple needs of our district. So our top choice is, drum roll please, Pearson's Texas Connection Academy. And there are several reasons why. Number one, it is a turnkey option at no cost to our district. That's really important when we think about how we are maximizing our resources in today's world. There is a projected 40 to 50,000 students across Texas who are now considering virtual options as we move towards next year and beyond. And Texas Connections Academy at HISD earned a B rating last year. So we know that they already have a viable curriculum that serves students in Texas well. This is a high agency pathway offered to students in our community. It provides personalized learning through live lessons. They also provide advising and counseling for students who enroll. There's 504 special education and ELL services, as well as services for gifted and talented, advanced coursework pathways, as well as career and college readiness. They also offer options for things like virtual clubs and social activities to make sure that the students have an opportunity to connect with their peers and build a network that way as well. Additionally, the Texas Connections Academy handles the day-to-day oversight of the organization. They provide highly qualified, certified teachers. They provide technology for their enrolled students, so that would not be anything we would be responsible for. And they provide a position to our district to handle the PEIMS reporting and attendance reporting. So I just wanted to review a little bit of what it is and what it's not, because I want to make sure that we are clear on this. What Texas Connections Academy offers is a turnkey program for Waco ISD. It is boundless. It provides another option for families to meet specific needs, and it is asynchronous and flexible. What it is not an emergency Zoom where we pivoted like we did once before. This is definitely an evolved situation, an evolved process, and it is meant to be a permanency for students who choose to enroll in the program. It is not a DAEP or an alternative school setting. It does not replace Montessori, and it is not separate from Waco ISD. They would be a part of our district. So when you think about the Waco ISD's personalized learning choices, we have several. If you look at the program types, and this is why I was talking about it being an expansion of our school choices. We offer traditional programs, we offer current specialized programs, we offer our PTEC CTE pathways, and we offer now, if you also choose to approve, a Texas Connections Academy. And if you look at the locations, you see the curricular focus and the entry requirements. They are all different and unique. The benefits for Waco ISD. Our intention is to launch a full-time virtual program starting in this fall of 2026. Students from across Texas are eligible to enroll in the program. This provides a unique opportunity for us as we choose to expand our enrollment. Waco ISD receives a sponsorship fee that's based on program revenue, and the direct benefit from this partnership is it allows for enrollment growth while we are currently and showing a historical record recently of losing some of our enrollment, and it also allows for us to expand our accountability through the work that we have with the partnership. So if you look at the terms that we would be engaging in with the partnership, the statement of agreement is talking about a 5-year partnership. In year 1, we would have students in grades 3 through 10 enroll in full-time virtual learning. In year 2, we would expand to add grades K through 2 and 11th. Our proposed Texas Connections Academy at Waco projected enrollment would be about 2,500 students. And just think it's important to note that the virtual students cannot exceed 50% of the enrollment of our district. This proposal supports all 4 of our priorities in our 2030 strategic plan for Waco ISD. And my recommendation is that you, as a board, vote to approve the statement of agreement we have engaged in creating with Pearson's Texas Connections Academy. Questions? Yes, sir.
2 things. If we approve this, when will families be able to sign up?
Well, I think once we have your approval, we go back into, and by the way, we do have representatives here, so thank you all for being here this evening. But we would go back to the drawing board as far as talking about what that looks like. They handle a lot of the publicizing. We, of course, are going to work in partnership with them to have links accessible, but I don't know that I have the exact answer for that until we are able to take the next steps once you approve.
But it would be, if we approve it, will be for next year.
Yes, absolutely.
Second question, I see year two, we're going to add K2 through 11. Are we going to add 12 year three?
That is the plan.
Okay. It just wasn't listed.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep.
Question here, sorry, Dr. King-Knowles.
Yes, Dr. Abnusi.
So stop. I mean, see, I lost the train of thought.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know what I want to say now. No, just quickly, the idea of, I'm a math guy, and when I look at numbers, I just want to know there was a mention of no cost. How's that so what, is there a catch? I mean, how do we, let's say we get to, I was writing some numbers down, 2,500 is the limit. How much of that will go as part of the allowance that we have for the students, each student? How much of it would go to the Pearson? How much will go to the district? Do we kind of have a?
We would get 3%, not to
They-
exceed $250,000.
Not to exceed 250, and then they will get 97% of the profit.
Yep.
It's on
Operational
it's on,
costs.
Schedule 10 of that the board packet. in the agreement.
So that is so. So it's not going to cost us anything at that level.
No, no, sir. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. King-Knowles. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Thank you, Mr. Bledsoe. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for the second. Dr. Abnusi, is there any discussion?
No, sir.
Mr. Bledsoe, is there any discussion?
No.
Mr. Davis, is there any discussion? Mr. Phipps, is there any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Phipps. Mr. Patton, is there any discussion?
No.
Mr. Ochoa, is there any discussion?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you. We'll move on to item 8, oath. Would Mr. Phipps, Mr. Ochoa, and Dr. Abnusi join me down?
Thanks for me to pay attention.
Alrighty, as a notary public, I'm honored to administer the oath of office. Please raise your right hand. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, please repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustees of the Waco Independent School District of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Thank you very much and congratulations.
No. Where's your mom at? Oh, no. Apple should be getting out. Oh, okay. Yeah, she was at a spring game. We're moving on to item 10, review, discuss, and take appropriate action on the bond funding strategic incentives presented by Mr. Jerry Allen.
Good afternoon, President Badania, Dr. Spicer, members of the board.
I'm here tonight to, it's really my pleasure to tell you what we are planning to do with, and hopefully that you will agree with this, our strategic facility enhancements for advancing our district priorities. This is completely bond funded, so we're not talking about any other funds, just bond funds. And we talked about this a little bit in the April meeting. We took your comments and came back and now we're ready to present what we have for you. So, first project, athletics. Our athletic facility modernization, we're looking at $6.23 million that we're requesting out of bond funds to completely do the entire project. And this is an all-in, not to exceed budget. And you can see that number at the top of the slide. This would be for the university, high school, turf, and track. And what we would be doing is adding field turf and renovating the track, and this would correct years of inadequacies that are with that field, either through the floodplain that we have or just damage that has been done over the years to that field. And you can see in the pictures on the side that we have there where a student is actually stepping inside of one of those cracks. And that's pretty telling of what they're having to play through. And we're calling these the coaches' classrooms because these are the coaches' classrooms when we're talking about this. They are working every day to make sure our students succeed. And so we want to do the turf and track at University High School. We also want to take care of the tennis courts and renovate those. And then also add 4 more so that we can have interscholastic play at that location as well as our Waco High School location. So this will bring parity to the high schools that we have right now. So, and then Cesar Chavez Middle School, we want to replace the turf with natural grass, do all the irrigation that's inside of that, and then also just redo the track around the outside of that. Now, we've spent a lot of money, of safety grant money, putting up new fencing around that track, and now we want to give it something to protect. So our community uses that a lot. So we want to make sure that we're giving them something that they can use according to how we are doing it. But we also want to make sure that we put the irrigation in there to make sure that we don't go back to the way we're doing it right now. So again, this provides value for parity, our student welfare, and then compliance with UIL standards. We're looking at phase 1 starting in May and in June coming back with competitive sealed bids, and then coming back to you in August with some type of what we want to do and which construction vendor we're going to use at that point. And then we're looking at a facility launch in July of 27. So that'll take us a while. We're hoping we can get it done quicker than that, but we want to give ourselves plenty of time to make sure we do it right. The second project that we would like to do is dedicated weather-resistant canopies at 4 of our locations: Lake Air, Montessori, Brook Avenue, Provident Heights, and Mountain View. If you've ever stood out in front of a school at drop-off and pick-up time in your suit as an administrator while you're dropping off kids at 100-degree weather in August and or when it's pouring down rain, you know that it really does damper the entire day when you have to dry kids off and you're going to have teachers that are out there all the time. So, and getting just completely soaked. So what we want to do is provide these canopies to our teachers and our students so that our parents, and we're also not creating a backlog of cars that at the drop-off time. So this is a student welfare issue, just site functionality and family safety. Mr. Patton, you look like you have a question.
I thought that we were adding Waco High School.
That's coming next. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That project will be, we're going to design, survey, test if we need to. This is steel pipe and red steel that we're going to be adding to this, and we're going to be matching some of the existing things. So it should not be that long of a project, and we're hoping to complete those over the summer. But it may run us into, just depends on the weather, and it depends on availability. So with that, we're giving ourselves until March of 27 to get these done. So we just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that. And this is an all-in price as well of $500,000 for those 4 campuses, okay? The next one is facility standards and security needs. So we've got 3 new schools: Waco High School, Kendrick, and South Waco.
With moving into a new house, you have some things that you find that you need to do, right? So we've seen now that through our plans, what we thought covered all of our bases with cameras or card access, we now know that the natural flow of the building needs a card access at a different place, or we need a camera at a different place. Or we've got new TEA standards that now require us to do certain things that, on the lower course of the building. So we will need to have some money to redo that. Also, with HVAC and energy management, there are a couple of different items at South Waco and Kendrick that will need to be brought up to our standard, that were not our standard during the time of planning. So also with that, Mr. Patton, is the canopies, which we will wrap into the second project, but for the scope of this, it is an improvement to those three existing, so I wanted to list them on this slide versus the previous one.
Will the canopies at, at these schools be, well, specifically Waco High, will that also be completed this summer as anticipated for the 4 elementaries?
Depending on the scope of work that we have, that's a little bit different because we have a brand new school. We want to make sure, and there's nothing existing there that we can match. But we can attempt to get it done this summer. That's our goal. But again, we're going to try to get it done. We're giving ourselves until March to get all of them done, but we definitely want to make sure that we get them done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. At this point, it's just those three projects, but you can see this last project is $650,000 is what we're giving ourselves as an all-in budget. And so if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you look at our strategic priorities for student, staff, community, and financial operational efficiencies, you can see that the athletic modernization meets all of the standards. So does the elementary canopies, and so does our facility standards. So every dollar that we have in these remaining bond funds, by the way, I want to just give a shout out to our award-winning finance team, Sherry Smith, our CFO, and our construction team. Kevin, if he's here. Kevin over here for what they did during the bond project to allow us to get to this point where we had remaining funds that we could use on these projects. We anticipate that this is going to be a really good thing for our kids. And it's something that not a lot of districts are able to do. But these guys did amazing work with investments and amazing job with managing the budgets. Also, with the athletic facilities, just a side note, at this point, if you guys approve this, we will have touched every single secondary campus with that bond fund. So at that point, every single secondary campus has gotten a piece of that bond fund. So we want to make sure you guys understood that. Yes, sir. Any questions? Okay.
I have a comment. Again, I just want to reiterate what you said, thanking everyone who was cost conscious enough to actually have these funds left over to do these projects that we need. Coach Williams and I had some discussions, and I hadn't been over to the Waco High practice field in several years and didn't realize how bad it was. And it's as bad as it looks. And I'm glad you put those pictures in there to show
Yes, sir.
what our kids are practicing on.
You
University, I'm
said,
sorry.
yeah, you said Waco, but you meant university. I knew what you said. I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Side note, interesting note, I did get a call today from the head of the Waco Tennis Association, who happens to be a former student, and her main concern was, what are we going to do with University High School's tennis courts? So I was very proud to tell her that she could go back and take credit saying that she strong-armed the board. But I'm glad we have the opportunity to get all these done.
All right, no more. All right, at this moment, I would entertain, thank you, Mr. Allen. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mr.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Patton. Dr. Abnusi, is there any discussion?
No, sir.
Mr. Bledsoe, is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I need to abstain from the vote.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, is there any discussion?
No.
Mr. Phipps, is there any discussion? Mr. Patton, is there any discussion?
No.
Mr. Ochoa, is there any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes with Mr. Bledsoe abstaining.
We all said aye, by the way. I don't know if you heard us. Oh, said aye, yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
We'll move on to item 11, review and discuss priority 1-2, create and sustain safe and supportive learning environments, presented by Dr. Suzanne Hamilton.
Thank you, Board President, Dr. Spicer, and the board. Welcome, Mr. Phipps, to your first official fun of sitting back and listening to us all night. I'm here to talk about our district priority for 1.3, which is to create and sustain a safe and supportive learning environment. For the first one we have, it is the implementation of our multi-tiered systems of support with fidelity and consistency across the district. Our baseline for the Tier 1 and Tier 2 and Tier 3 are up there. Last year, we used Tier 3 only in our special ed, with our special ed students at Tier 3. This year, we used it district-wide. So when we're looking at our outcomes going on, we have made strides in reaching those goals in all three of our tiers. Again, this year was the first time we did Tier 3 across the entire district for our Tier 1. Again, it is a phases of implementation. We are in year 3. We should be reaching sustainability. That is if everything stays and remains constant. We know in education that is not true. We have teacher turnover, students switch around, and we have leadership turnover at campuses. But we are consistently building our systems. I said this earlier. My husband's watching. Hopefully, if you are a Spurs fan and you know Coach oh my goodness, Coach Popovich, he says it's a system. You build the system, and no matter who's in the playing field, knows how to play it. So we are building a system in Waco ISD for our interventions, so no matter who comes into the school, they're able to follow that system. So our Tier 1 district averages right here on your left are what we consider Tier 1 interventions. Those are our connections, our skill building, acknowledgement. The graph on the right shows you where we are. The green is where we have really high scores, and the orangish red is where we are still working on things. An acknowledgement feedback is where you are giving acknowledgement to those students when they are doing the things that they should be doing. Our corrective feedback is usually what our brains are wired to do, because that's when someone does something wrong, we're quick to tell them, hey, that's not the way to do that, we need to do something else. We're working really hard at Tier 1 to recognize those students who are following the directions, that are doing the things they're supposed to. We can equate this to the AB honor roll when people get recognized or perfect attendance. So we're trying to increase that day-to-day encouragement of our students when they're coming to school doing the things we expect them to do. This is our breakdown of how our campuses are doing. The dotted black line is sustainability, and the red line, the dotted red line, is our district average. I want to draw your attention to the bottom at the green square. That is all of our secondary campuses. Our secondary campuses have made the most growth in Tier 1 than they have had since we've started this. This is our 3rd year. So I really want to give a shout out to our secondary campuses. We have 7 campuses. Oh, thank you. We have 7 campuses that are at 70% and 2 are at 80% fidelity. And this does include Wiley. We do have those services that we expect when the students are at our DAP. This is our year-to-year comparison when we are looking at the fidelity of our program. I want to make sure that you understand this is not discipline data. This is not the amount of incident referrals or something like that at a campus. This is the amount of times that whether it's Ms. Freeman and her team are going out and looking for stuff, they look weekly looking to see, are we seeing all these programs in place, these systems in place? Mr. Abnusi, I know you're out there a lot. You run into them quite often. We have the system that we use, they come in once a year, sort of like snapshot, and they go out and they independently go visit all of our campuses. They go look for Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 interventions. They talk to teachers, they talk to students, and this is their fidelity check. So think of it, it's the same way as we do snapshot for accountability. This is a snapshot of one time that they're out looking at our systems. This is our Tier 2 systems overall. This is the targeted instruction for that Tier 2 student. That is a smaller group than our Tier 1. Again, we're looking at check-in, check-out, our skill instruction, and our feedback. This is our campus indicators by that, and again, you can still see the dotted red line and sustainability. Again, secondary school is rocking it. I'm not saying that elementary is not for any my elementary principals in here. I see you, Collier. I'm just saying. You're rocking it at Parkdale, but secondary campuses are making huge strides. Neither Waco High or Carver are here, but if you have not been there to see some of their systems in place, I encourage you to go out and see that. They are also making great strides for them. Again, year to year, This is also a much smaller group of students that you're looking at when you're looking at those interventions because, again, Tier 1's everyone, Tier 2 is a smaller group. Tier 3, this is for your top 3 to 5% that need the highest needs for these students. Again, check in and check out in skills instruction. We are making good strides in this too by looking at the percentages there. Again, the green box shows growth in all areas because as a district, we grew exponentially in Tier 3 resources and instruction that we were doing with our students. Now to switch to the discipline side. The Discipline Data Validation Manual comes out each year. They give us indicators that we use our discipline data to make sure that we do not reach a certain threshold in that area. When I originally came to you with our strategic plan for our part of our department, we based it on the disproportionality rate of African American and Hispanic students in discretionary DAP placements. That indicator was taken away in December this year by TEA. So we can no longer use that as a marker, but we still have the discretionary DAP in general. It does not break it down by ethnicity and gender. However, we still track that in our department to make sure that we are keeping on top of that and we do not want those numbers to go up. What was replaced was indicator number 2 and indicator number 3, the unauthorized out-of-school suspension for students that are coded homeless and the unauthorized out-of-school suspension for students that are under grade 3. This 89th legislative year also gave us new codes and extended our ISS length, and so we have a little bit of play when we do have students that exhibit those behaviors that need to have that kind of consequence. So what we're gonna do, the next slide, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move that rate. I did wanna point out that the standard rate for disproportionality under the indicator 7 is 3.5, and we were at 0.61% last year. This year, we are at 0.42%. So again, we are watching any discretionary placement that comes through student management, which is under our umbrella, to ensure that those placements, we have done all of our MTSS. If they are special education is involved. We're making sure that all of those things are done before we are placing them at DAP. Indicator 2 is the one for students who are coded as homeless. In 2025, we had 163 students that were suspended. This year, we only have had 19 so far. Again, we do periodic checks every 3 weeks on discipline data, and we meet with the Office of School Leadership and the executive directors with those principals to make sure they're looking at their data, and we're not, these numbers continue to go down. The same with students that are under grade 3. Last year we had 7, and this year we had 0. This is just a chart showing how it's the disproportionality rate has changed throughout the years from 2023 on. The same with our numbers for suspensions and suspensions. The safety part of what we need to do as part of implementing and maintaining our yearly support and training with updated legislation, district policies, procedures, and best practices for behavior, discipline, and safety. Do we have like fans? Everybody, I'm feeling bad for y'all. This needs to be updated. Actually, our intruder audits are now 100% complete. We have had no findings this semester. Our district vulnerability audit that Mr. Jerry was actually talking about the 3M film, that's the only thing we have left in this year's 4-year audit to get that done with TEA. Our DAR tool is our 3-year internal audit that we do. It has been completed. We will have our Safety and Security Committee on June 11th as required to report to them, and then I will bring it back to y'all in the June board meeting to have you look over it. President Vidania and Dr. Spicer will have to sign that, and then I submit it to TEA. All of our safety drills are complete for the year. Our EOP and our annex were submitted and accepted by by Texas School Safety Center. Next year, the annex, they do an annex every year. It will be for reunification. We've already started that process. We have 2 current MOUs. One tonight you approved. Last month you did the other one for Rappaport and Vanguard. So that way we have reciprocal MOUs with them now. So that way they're Rappaport's 3 campuses and Vanguard. If we need to use them, we have that along with what we already have with the city. For our department, our focus will be differentiated coaching. We're looking at that administrator training based on those fidelity scores from those campuses. Again, if we have turnover, if we have changes, we're able to go with them, show them how they've done before, fit them into that system, and then train them up on how to keep that going. Our MTSB is strengthening. We have partnered with Region 12 for our restorative practices on a few campuses this year. We've worked with them on other things, but starting next year, we are going to have restorative practices that are coming in with Region 12 through a grant that Mrs. Freeman wrote and received word that she received it today, to where we are going to start doing that on our campuses and training our paraprofessionals on how to do that. We currently already go on walks with our instructional partners where we're looking for the fidelity of our behavior, our behavior in the classroom along with the instructional stuff that they're doing. And then policy compliance. PEMS has now come under our umbrella as well, and so being able to look at those reports, train administrators on how to read them, and making sure that they understand the importance of accurate coding for attendance, discipline, and behavior. Attendance and behavior. Thank you. It's been a long night and my mouth is dry.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just a quick one. You mentioned that you do discipline checks every 3 weeks. Just out of curiosity, like year over year, do you find that there's more discipline issues during a certain time of the year? Or?
Well, yes. Yes and no. I think it really does depend. Sometimes it is right before testing, just because I think people are so stuck. They're in their room and they're doing stuff and they're so focused on that, sometimes not taking that, or the frustration of having to take a test, or right before breaks, right before Christmas, right before Thanksgiving, right before spring break. Into school, yes. Yes, everyone is, into school ends up being a little bit more lax everywhere. Everyone's like, if we can just get to the end, we're all in this together, so.
Curious to see if there was any way we could sort of get ahead of that, but it seems like an impossible.
Yes, we can always do that. You've been a teacher, I've been a teacher. Sometimes it's not just the students, it's the adults too. It's like everyone's ready to, let's just get to the finish line. So it's all the way around. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton. Next, we're moving on to item 12, review and discuss key special education findings from the Texas Academic Performance Report presented by Ms. Washington.
I'm sorry, pardon me. Do I get to advance it? Okay, I can use it. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Dr. Hamilton went before me. She's a little taller, so. Okay, perfect. Well, good evening, Dr. Spicer, President Vidania, and board. I'm Nkechi Washington. I'm the Executive Director for Special Education. So today, I'm going to come and provide an update on special education, as well as cast our vision and tell you a little bit about our progress. Okay. As you know, the work that we do is truly and firmly steeped in our mission and our vision of the district. Okay. So before I can tell you about where we are, I'd like to provide you with a picture of where we've been. So in the fall of 2024, when Dr. Spicer came on board, she engaged in learning walks that took place across the district and the city. She met with students and teachers, parents, community members, district leaders, both internal and external. On those learning walks, she learned a few things. So I'm gonna talk about those. Some of the glows was there was clear evidence that our folks have a heart for students. Their deep-rooted traditions as well as dedicated staff. Some of the growth areas was the department, and so let me go back and even say specifically about the special education department, okay? So for the department and the campus, some of our processes and procedures needed to have some detailed intervention or support. So she commissioned Stetson and Associates in the spring of 2025 to come in and perform an audit that would be district-wide. All right, so here are some of the findings from that audit. From that audit, we established what we like to call the North Star for our developmental reorganization based on 5 quality standards for service: leadership, instruction, staffing, capacity building, and family engagement. So I'd like to share a little celebration that recently we have engaged in a folder audit
And so the findings of the photo audit have revealed we have made substantial district-wide improvement compared to our audit in June of 2025. Particularly in the areas of present levels of academic achievement and functional performance statements. A PLAF. So that is just special education speak. The PLAF achievement rose from 84% to 100%. And also in our PLAFs, evidence of data-based evidence that was also sourced, or that's a part of the PLAF to strengthen it, rose from 8% to 100%. So that is an achievement for our team. Before I can go any further, I don't do this work by myself, so I would like to introduce the team. Please stand. Thank you so much. I truly have enjoyed working alongside them and the work that we've engaged in. So part of that sets an audit. Some of the work that came out of that was we engaged in a team retreat to make sure that we could all come together, plan strategically about what we need to do moving ahead. Okay, we've also engaged in ongoing professional development as a team, as well as we shifted our model, our campus support model. Now, we as a team don't do all of this work by ourselves. We are supported by 22 diagnosticians, 22 speech and language pathologists and their assistants, 5 school psychologists, 4 board certified behavior analysts, 2 registered behavior technicians, 11 ARD or admission review dismissal facilitators, and nearly 300 teachers and paraprofessionals. So we are grateful. Thank you. Okay, because I'm not advancing at all. I appreciate you. Okay. Thank you. So just to kind of give you a picture of special education in the district. So you can see these numbers now are taken from Snapshot. So they have ebbed and flowed since to date, but I want to make sure I could provide a solid picture of what the state has as well. So our district total at Snapshot was 12,958. Of that, 2,740 were students that are receiving special education services, and that's roughly about 21%. Okay, and so this is how our population is also divided out across our elementary campuses and our secondary campuses. Okay, now instruction as one of our strong tenets. So as you know that what happens in a classroom is considered tier 1 instruction. So the district has done a wonderful job of enhancing and supporting tier 1 instruction. But what happens if our students need a little bit more? They then move into multi-tier systems of support, or MTSS. And that can happen either in the academic side or on the behavioral side. When students don't make sustainable growth or it's spotty growth, sometimes then it triggers for a parent or a teacher to say, we suspect that it might be something more. That then triggers an evaluation. So that's where we come in. If the students qualify, then they receive SDI or special designed instruction. Okay. Evaluations. So in 2024-25 school year, the district completed nearly 800 evaluations. 632 of the students qualified, 166 of the students did not qualify. Okay. To date, for 25-26 school year, we have done 512 evaluations. 403 have qualified, and 109 have not qualified. And this is just another breakdown of those same evaluation numbers across our school levels. Okay. Private schools.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yes.
What would be that's a pretty significant drop in the number of students. What would be the reason? Do we have a reason for that?
For the evaluation?
Yeah, the number of evaluations
right.
year over year.
Yes, sir. So last year, 24-25 was the last year that students that may have been receiving 504 services for dyslexia could be evaluated and then added to the special education side of things, so side of the house. So that may be some of the reasons why our numbers were a little bit higher because of that. Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, private school evaluations. In 24-25, we performed a total of 30 evaluations, 14 students qualified, 16 did not qualify. In 25-26 to date, we have done 21 evaluations, 18 have qualified, and 3 have not qualified. Sorry. Okay. So now we're going to pivot and we'll talk about the taper and the report that was made in January at the January board meeting. So at the January board meeting, it was reported about the accountability level of the district. Specifically, the special education department has met with a needs substantial intervention. Now, I would like to preface this by saying that this data has a 2-year lag. All right. But what does need substantial intervention mean? What does it look? What is it determined by? Special education, we get a special report that's outside of the taper called results-driven accountability, or RDA. The RDA is comprised of several different components. So there are some indicators, of course, STAR scores for our students, graduation rates, dropout, and dropout rates for students with special education. Compliance with federal laws, such as timeliness of evaluations and transition services, as well as significant disproportionality in any particular area, as well as just data integrity, okay? Now, RDA is broken down for the special education department, is broken down to 3 domains. We have domain 1, academic achievement, domain 2, post-secondary readiness, and domain 3, disproportionality, okay? In those areas, you can see our rates. We were able to choose what areas do we want to make sure we pay special attention to and target. Because the district was also targeting reading and math by adopting a new math curriculum as well as new reading, not a new reading, but enhancing our reading curriculum, it was in line for us to chart that course and to follow suit. So we have targeted STAR reading as well as STAR math scores, okay? Then you can also see our total for disproportionality. So what are we doing to support or to help correct our pathway forward? Some things we've done, and I've talked about that, is again, the new curriculum and the instructional practices that are already happening within the district, as well as engaging in monthly professional development, coaching sessions, and hand-in-hand behavioral coaching and supports for our campuses. For staffing and capacity building, one thing is really important is for us to shift from a silo to a unified system. So we're shifting away from those are your kids, right? Or separate environments to these are all of our kids, and what can we all do to better support all of our students? Right. This helps, and this is helped through interdepartmental collaboration, as well as strategic support from TEA. In our capacity building, because again, we want to reduce the amount of turnover that we have with our teachers. We're also targeting having just-in-time coaching, where we're right in the classroom coaching when the situation is happening, as well as we're getting targeted support from the Region Center, Region 12. Now for the fun part. So we're also want to make sure that we are reaching out to our families and our community. So some of the things that we have done are listed here. We've hosted a special education night, 2 of them. We also hosted dyslexia night, and this year, for the first time, we hosted a speech night, which was very well attended. We've also increased our parent communication through multiple modalities. And for the 26-27 school year, we're going to launch a special education parent advisory committee. The parent advisory committee is a volunteer-run partnership with the school district just to help improve the educational experiences, some of our programs, and even may help drive some of the policies. So we're looking forward to launching that. Looking ahead in some of our strategic goals. Goal 1, continue that unified instructional ownership. From shifting from siloed programs or special education programs to unified system. Goal 2 is behavioral integrity and support to reduce disciplinary removal rates and maximize instructional time. Goal 3 is timely and substantive evaluations. Again, we want to ensure 100% compliance with federal guidelines. And Goal 4, family and community partnership. We want to move from just communicating to having authentic partnerships with our families. Are there any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Looking at the needs substantial intervention,
Yes, sir.
as you said, Ms. Washington, it runs 2 years behind.
That's correct.
I know that we put money forward for an audit, and that was in 2025, fall of 25.
The audit started in
Personal
spring
audit,
of,
the internal, last spring.
yes.
I think it would be beneficial for the board to see results of that audit. We have yet to see that.
Absolutely.
And I would like to see that, and just to know what our audit showed, our strengths and our weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And I think that will be a very strategic
Yes.
move forward.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Just a quick question. Well attended, and I love that community partnership, by the way. Thanks for doing that. That's fantastic. Every time I hear parents being involved in their children's lives, that makes me super happy. Well attended, would we say, is there a number of, like, a percentage-wise, the ones that you invited? Do we know approximately how many attended the, I know it was an invitation, I'm assuming
No,
was sent to
it
them, or?
is- Yeah, so it's an open invitation. So
Open invitation.
how we use the parent square to, of course, support to send it out to all of our parents. Also, our speech therapists are very well connected with their families, and so some of them made personal phone calls to call families and have them come out. So I believe that we had roughly about.
I mean, I don't want an exact number. I'm
Okay,
just
I was
wondering
going.
if you're happy with the percentage. Again, I feel like this math
Yes.
sometimes kicks in. You always want numbers, but
Yes, yes, but one thing that we want to do, of course, moving forward is to make sure that our parents know that these opportunities are here. Our speech night was to showcase, but also help our parents be able to understand how they can do these very same activities at home with their family.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to encourage you guys. I've got a special education son who's finishing up 3rd grade, going into 4th grade, and just want to encourage you guys that, like, what you do really does matter as a parent. And just thank you for the dignity that you show him. And he came into kindergarten nonverbal, and now he chats a mile a minute. And so just thank you guys so much. And also, that is what makes public education so special, because he would not be accepted at many private schools in Waco. And we take all of these kids. And so thank you guys for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Next, we're moving on to item 13, review and discuss facility renaming presented by Elizabeth Cox.
Thank you, President Vidania. Dr. Spicer, trustees. EC will work, okay? I'm before you tonight at the request of another trustee to help facilitate a review and discuss of a facility renaming. The purpose of my standing before you tonight, we will review policy CW local, which is our board policy for naming facilities, and also help facilitate you all having a discussion of a potential process for renaming Cesar Chavez Middle School. Our guiding policy, CW local, again, is about naming facilities, not renaming specifically, but it is our policy that we follow when we are naming a facility. Names should reflect, according to the policy, a residential community served, the local geographic area or feature, a person deceased for at least 10 years. We believe that following this policy supports consistency, transparency, and fairness, and sticking with those three itemized ways in which we develop a name helps do that. CW Local also has other provisions that may not necessarily apply here that I didn't want to not mention. It has a donor exception. The dedication plaques we've gotten to celebrate at the 2021 bond program projects are also laid out in the policy. And there's also information about partial facility renaming, or naming, excuse me. There are process requirements listed in CW Local. It states that we should open this up to any district resident to suggest a name. We must list it on 2 consecutive board meeting agendas, and the board may vote at that second meeting. Partial naming, which wouldn't be what we would be considering here, requires something called the Campus Decision-Making Council's recommendation. We did this when we recently named the weight room at Waco High School for Andrew Billings. Now to some key considerations for renaming specifically CCMS. We do suggest that we align with our CW Local policy. We also suggest that we take in community input and sentiment. Ultimately, we really want to direct you to the awareness of our state level expectations and TEA guidance on instruction. Pretty quickly after the news story that prompted this discussion came out, TEA issued guidance of how we were not to discuss the individual or anything related to it, not to follow the TEKS, not to have any sort of celebration, and to just kind of pass it over. At that same time, though, TEA has not required us to address facility names. So when we take into consideration what is in a name or what might go on with a brand, we also really want you to think about the impact on the campus identity and continuity. And then, unfortunately, the thing we always end up at, costs. When trying to look at what sort of costs might we incur should we rename the facility, some of the obvious things are the campus signage, exterior, interior, you know, the signs that you see outside on the building, and then what I have featured up here is a photo when you're walking into the facility, some of the window decals. Window decals, fairly minimal expense. Signage outside a building, a little bit more intensive. Logo and branding, depending on how you proceed with a naming, if we are changing the colors, the mascot, or anything else related to the acronym. Middle schools often use their acronym, right? CCMS, CMS, anything like that, they often use, and that's what you'll see on some of their materials. Athletic uniforms. We recently outfitted 2 middle schools as a part of the 2021 bond program with new athletic uniforms. So Ms. Smith pulled the costs for me, and it was more than $80,000 per campus for those athletic uniforms. And I think that is just something to consider because that doesn't then take into account like all the t-shirts and all the other collateral that others have had. That was just for a uniforms package. The next 2 items that I have up there are not necessarily financially intensive, but those are the things that we start thinking about as the team in this room and elsewhere in this building when we have to make a name change. And they're very time intensive. So treasure intensive are the first 3, you know, are the costs. Time intensive are kind of the other 2 of trying to think through all the different ways and places and things that will have to be manually changing if you make a name change. I was asked by another board member what we mean by operational materials. We do expect that if we were to change the name, we will have to go before TEA and submit some official documentation and go through a process like that to then be able to change over all the ways that, yes, they look at us by a campus number, but there's also other systems and ways that, like if you think about Sentinel or other things that they recognize a campus name through. So ultimately, costs will vary based on scope, timing, and how we phase any implementation option and if we do proceed with a renaming. I had a little bit of fun trying to think through all those considerations I just listed, and if you were to choose to prioritize us going through a renaming process, let's consider some geographical connections that would still fit within the Purple Eagle CCMS brand. Cameron Creek Middle School, Cedar Creek Middle School, Cotton Creek Middle School. There are lots of great connections. Cameron Creek, obviously Cameron Park is not too terribly far from the campus. It is a name that we are associated with it in Waco.
Dr. Spicer runs that lap every day.
She does. She's going to be swimming in it not too long. I'm like, I don't know why I said yes to swim. That Iron Woman up there is about to swim. I'm gonna have you out there. Don't worry. I won't go too much further down that road, but yes, there's options. Clearly, I think that we would, to follow CW Local, we would engage the community through a virtual survey, and then we would suggest that you all review those results as the board and take action at a board meeting. So those are considerations we have for you, but ultimately this is a discussion for you all to let us know how you'd like to proceed and how you'd like to prioritize this.
Thank you, Chief Cox. Couple of questions. Well, one question. One. Yeah. We are not required by TEA at this time to consider a name change.
Correct. We were just required to throw out all the teaks
Right.
and make sure we did not host any
So we
celebrations.
didn't mention that person.
Mhm.
If it's not in violation of TEA, I think we have so many more important things going on right now. And also in light of the potential costs, if my colleagues here want to do this, my suggestion would be we look at this in October and November when our typical packets are less full. We're bumping up at the end of the year. August will be budget. If this is not a pressing issue through our state government, realizing the cost that would be and the time that it would take for technology and maps and whatnot, I would prefer that we postpone this to another time.
Sorry, and thank you. And have you heard anything about the community that involves this? Are they really concerned about this issue? Have we heard anything from them?
The one individual who has asked me about this and brought it up to me is not here tonight. It's Mr. Hoover. He's at Willie Nelson. So he's literally the only person. He's literally the only person that's brought it up to me directly before we added this agenda item.
But as far as the community, that kind of not many of them.
No,
That's okay.
and we sent talking points to the campus,
That is,
encouraging people to submit comments to us, and we've received.
That's fair enough. Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I just have a comment. So I'm the one who brought it up. And the reason was because when these accusations came out, my original ask was, can we just at least take the name down? I was not aware of everything involved, especially the significant costs involved in renaming the school, all the way down to, like you said, the cheerleading uniforms that would have to be changed. I am glad we're having this discussion, though, and I guess really want to make it clear that we do not condone any of the actions or accusations that were made against Mr. Chavez. And if we could change the name, we would probably, at very significant or small, very little cost, very little time, I'm sure we would make that decision as quickly as we possibly could. But I do want to thank you for putting this out there, and I'm glad that we're having the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Ochoa.
Thank you. Now, item 14, announcements presented by Elizabeth Cox.
I'm back. First and foremost, I want to say, again, good evening to Dr. Spicer, trustees, and referee Vidania. I have a special request from Rhiannon Settles and all of the amazing team with our special education department that helped plan last night's most amazing night of the year in Waco ISD. Mr. Vidania was not alone in signing up to ref our unified basketball game. Mr. Davis, we know you were unable to be with us. We appreciate you, considering it. So who stepped in? None other than Chief Goodman. So thank you very much, and thank you to our special education department and Rhiannon Settles, and I think all of our student services team. I think it's a true collective that make that really amazing night in Waco ISD possible. Thank you. As Dr. Spicer shared in her superintendent's report, we are just 1 week from graduation ceremonies, and the excitement of the countdown to end a successful school year is in full effect. I think almost every elementary campus, it feels like, is field daying tomorrow. So if you need to come out and run with some kids and students, yeah, show up for field day. We were at Provident Heights today, and they specifically said inflatables. That's not, I don't know if that's you, but that's not me. But I mean, go out to Provident Heights. This Friday night, we will be celebrating all of our campus teachers of the year and naming our district elementary and secondary teachers of the year at a special event planned by HR at Waco High School at 5:30 p.m. Graduation rehearsals are taking place the first part of next week. And if you are a part of any of the special scholarship awardings that we do through the Education Foundation, the Waco High PTSA, all sorts of other groups, just keep track of those times for graduation rehearsals. Setup starts for that tomorrow as well. Tuesday, May 19th, we will host a reception honoring our 2025-2026 retirees at the Cambria Hotel. And Friday, May 22nd, is just around the corner, is our final day of school for the 2025-2026 school year, and it is an early release day for all you parents out there. I am so grateful for the chance to serve again and end another school year here in Waco ISD. I look forward to seeing you all at these end-of-year celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you. The Waco ISD Board of Trustees will now go into closed session at 7:40, this time to pursue the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Sections .071 and .074. We anticipate taking no action when we return. At 8 o'clock, the board will reconvene in open session. Next, we're moving on to item 17, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the reorganization of the Board of Trustees.
I make a motion that to nominate Jose Vidania as president of the board.
Make a motion, we nominate Angela Ochoa for president.
I was second, I want to second Jose Vidania, actually. Sorry, second Jose Vidania.
We'll take a vote now. Mr. Arash?
Do you want the name, sir?
Yeah.
President Jose Vidania, the current president.
Mr. Bledsoe?
I'm confused as to what I'm being.
On,
No.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Phipps?
No.
Mr. Patton?
No.
Mr. Bledsoe, Mr. Ochoa.
No.
Now we need a second.
I'll second.
All right, voting for Mr. Ochoa as president.
No.
Mr. Bledsoe,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
No.
Mr. Phipps,
Yes.
Mr. Patton,
Yes.
Mr. Ochoa.
Yes.
So Mr. Ochoa is president of 4-3. Let him take over. No, just let him.
No, we still go, we continue, he does not.
Open for vice president, I'll nominate Mr. Davis. For a second.
I second.
We call for the vote. There's no, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Davis, yes.
Mr. Bledsoe,
No.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
And Jose, yes. Mr. Phipps,
No.
Mr. Patton,
No.
Mr. Ochoa.
No.
Is there another
I'll
nomination?
nominate Jose Vidania as vice president.
I'm declining that one. Is there another nomination?
I'll nominate Jim Patton.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
So, okay, Mr. Abnusi,
No.
Mr. Bledsoe,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
No.
Mr. Phipps,
Yes.
Mr. Patton,
Yes.
Mr. Ochoa,
Yes.
and Mr. Patton, just your new vice president, and now open up for secretary. Is it any nomination for secretary?
I'll nominate Jose Vidania.
I'll decline on that one. Is there another nomination?
I nominate Taylor Bledsoe.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, Mr. Abnusi,
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
No.
Mr. Phipps,
Yes.
Mr. Patton,
Yes.
and Mr. Ochoa.
Yes.
All right, the new secretary, Mr. Bledsoe. Thank you. Shake your hand now. Oh, we'll call the meeting at 8:04. And